All right, ready to dive into some seriously cool history.
Always. Let's do it.
Today, we're talking about a ship called the Black Joke.
Oh, interesting.
And no, before you ask, it wasn't a pirate ship.
Hmm.
Though you could almost call its story a heist.
A heist, huh? Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the story with this black joke?
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
All right, you said heist, so spill the tea. What kind of ship gets a name like that?
Well, to really get into it, we need to go back a bit.
Back in time. All right, set the stage.
Yeah, so imagine the 18th and 19th centuries, the height of the Atlantic slave trade.
Ugh, yeah. A dark chapter in human history, for sure.
It's heavy stuff to think about. Millions of Africans ripped from their homes.
Subjected to unimaginable cruelty.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to truly grasp the scale of the horror.
It's easy to forget just how recent this history really is, too.
Exactly. And the fight to end this, it took decades.
So how do you even begin to tackle something so massive?
Well, in 1807, there was a turning point. The British Parliament passes the Abolition of the Slave Trade Act.
Okay, but that doesn't end slavery itself.
No,
No.
not entirely. But it makes transporting enslaved people across the Atlantic illegal a monumental step.
A step in the right direction, at least.
Exactly.
Okay, but we're talking about a massive ocean. How do you enforce something like that?
That's where the British Royal Navy's West African Squadron comes in.
Okay, I've never heard of them.
They're the ones who actually had to go out and hunt down these slave ships.
Wow. The abolition movement's unsung heroes. So what does all this have to do with the Black Joke? I'm still waiting for the heist part of the story. They had a dedicated naval force going after slave ships.
So are you saying a black joke was one of these ships they captured?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No way. They turned a slave ship into a slave hunter.
You got it. In 1827, the Black Joke, originally named the Henriqueta, was captured from Brazilian slavers.
Wow.
And get this, the same things that made it effective in the slave trade, its speed, maneuverability, those became tools to fight against it.
Hold on. It was that fast. What made it so special?
This ship was built to outrun the fastest ships of its time. We're not just talking a little speed boost. This thing was a sports car on the open ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just leaving these other ships choking on smoke and spray. So they outfitted it with, like, cannons and stuff, turned it into a real warship.
Exactly. They gave it new gear, armed it to the teeth, and it became the stuff of nightmares for slave traders.
Okay, now that's what I call poetic justice.
Yeah.
But how did they actually catch these slavers? I mean, wouldn't they see them coming?
That's the thing about the black joke. It's speed. It allowed them to just appear out of nowhere before the slavers could even react.
I bet they were terrified when they saw the Black Joke on their tail. No time to escape.
They didn't stand a chance. And this speed was essential because it allowed them to catch slavers before they could resort to throwing their captives overboard.
Oh, man. That's just awful.
It was a horrific but common tactic to hide the evidence. But the black joke, they were often able to intervene in time.
So they were literally saving people's lives in the nick of time.
Precisely.
It must have been an incredible moment for the crew and the people they rescued.
The relief, the joy, the sheer triumph of good overcoming evil. It gives me chills just thinking about it.
I bet. Do you have a favorite story about one of their captures?
One of the most famous captures has to be the Maria de Gloria.
What happened there?
The Maria de Gloria was a much larger vessel than the Black Joke. It was carrying over 500 enslaved Africans.
Wow. David and Goliath much.
It really was. But the captain of the Black Joke, he was a man who refused to back down, especially when lives were on the line.
They didn't just sail away.
They engaged the Maria de Gloria, and after an intense battle, they boarded and took control. 500 lives saved.
Talk about a close call. That must have taken some serious guts. They were risking their lives for those people.
Absolutely. The crew of the Black Joke were incredibly skilled and brave. They were thousands of miles from home, putting their lives on the line to fight for what was right.
You said they were British sailors, right?
That's right. The West African Squadron was part of the British Royal Navy, a powerful testament to the dedication within Britain to abolish the slave trade. But it's important to remember...
This wasn't just a British thing.
Exactly. The fight against slavery wasn't limited to just one country. People from all over the world recognized the injustice of it and fought to end it. The Black Joke is just one piece of a much larger story.
A story about a global movement for human rights.
Exactly.
And to think, this ship, a symbol of oppression, it became a symbol of freedom.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
So the Black Joke helped capture a lot of slave ships.
At least 7 that we know of.
7 too many. But those are 7 victories, too.
That's right.
They were out there battling a whole system of oppression.
And winning.
It's honestly mind-blowing, the scale of what the West African Squadron achieved,
I know, right?
battling a whole system.
Yeah,
And the black joke is right at the heart of it.
that's a powerful symbol.
From oppression to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a forgotten story, though, isn't it? Why do you think that is? I mean, this isn't just some dry anecdote.
You're right. This is a story that deserves to be told.
And thankfully, it sounds like it will be.
Yes.
We got a movie coming out, Dark Seas.
Oh, I'm so excited about this film.
Me too. Finally, the black joke. And everyone who sailed on her, they're getting some recognition.
It's about time.
And with a director like Reginald Hudlin.
Django Unchained.
Exactly. He knows how to tell a powerful story.
He does, and this story deserves someone with his vision.
Couldn't agree more.
It's going to be epic.
And with Chris Morgan as a producer.
Talk about action-packed.
Right. From Fast and Furiouses to fighting slavery.
It's going to be amazing to see what they do with it.
I'm already picturing the chase scenes.
On the high seas.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But will it be historically accurate?
Well, the filmmakers have said they're aiming for a blend.
Okay.
Like Gladiator,
Right.
historically accurate, but still entertaining.
I like it.
It's a tough balance to strike, but I think they can do it.
I think so too. So, as we wrap up our own deep dive here,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from all of this?
That's a good question.
About the black joke, about the slave trade, about everything.
I think for me, it's about remembering those who fought for a better world.
Even when the odds were stacked against them.
Exactly. The sailors of the West African Squadron,
True heroes.
putting their lives on the line to fight for justice.
For equality, for freedom.
Their story and the story of the black joke, it's a reminder
Of what?
that even in the darkest of times,
Yeah.
there's always hope.
And there are always those who will stand up for what's right.
Always.
Beautifully said. Well, that's the incredible story of the black joke.
Such a journey.
From a symbol of oppression to an instrument of freedom.
Amazing.
It really makes you wonder, what other hidden histories are out there just waiting to be uncovered? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time.